Hi guys, Steve from Vintage Classics. I decided this morning, I already shot a video earlier about action shots in 73, 74 Topps football. Well, I decided just to do a little baseball one, get baseball move. We got a couple playoff games today. I'm just going to show you some Hall of Fame cards from the 70s, 60s and 70s, just a handful of them. This will be a quick video. I know I say that all the time. I end up talking and it takes me 15, 20 minutes, but I figured I'd put a little something together. 2 in 1 day. It's it's not usual for me to have that many, but I guess I'm in the talking mood today. And I forgot to mention in the last video, I said I mentioned my Patriots, nice little win against the Buffalo Bills. Not that we're going anywhere, but they got Bill Belichick his 300th win. Congratulations to him. Great accomplishment. One of only three coaches, along with George Halas and of course Don Shula, who Bill Belichick is chasing right now for the all-time wins record. All right, on to the cards I have to show you today. Going to start off with a 1969 Deco card of Roberto Clemente. It's card number 27. Decals were an insert card back then, 69. Got the deckled edge, the little ridged type of edge. Clemente is one of my favorites, as you guys probably know. You'll see a few of his cards in this little stack I have. Next, I got a 1972 Topps of Johnny Bench. Great Cincinnati Reds catcher. All right, and we got a 1971 Reggie Jackson. I love this card. I don't know if it's the colors, the Oakland A's colors, the green and the gold and stuff, but just a really nice card of Reggie, Mr. October. Then of the Oakland A's, waiting on the on-deck circle, looks like. So, and 71 was a nice set, the backs. All right. Next, you got a 1969 Bob Gibson. He's actually smiling on this card while he's going through his motion, but obviously this was posed because Bob Gibson never smiled on the mound. But great Hall of Fame pitcher. All these guys are Hall of Famers, like I mentioned before. A great pitcher for the Cardinals. Fierce competitor, as you guys know. Next is Clemente again, 1969. But this is during that stretch when, for some reason, Topps insisted on putting Bob Clemente instead of Roberto, even though Roberto didn't like the wording being depicted as Bob. But here he is in 1969. It's a shame he had to die the way he did. As everybody knows, he ended up with exactly 3,000 hits. But if you ever get a chance to watch a good movie about him, it's Chasing 3,000, I think it's called. It's about these two kids who live from Pittsburgh. The family moves out west, and they want to get back so bad to be there in Pittsburgh the day that Clemente gets his 3,000th hit. It's a good movie. I forget who's in it. There's a couple stars in there, but it's called Chasing 3,000. All right. Then you got a 1966 Carl Yastrzemski. Yes. Great Red Sox player. All right. Another thing of these cards, if you can pick up cards, league leader cards, especially from the 60s and 70s, you have the opportunity to get some great Hall of Famers on there at a much cheaper cost than their actual individual cards. This is 64 Topps. It shows the 1963 National League pitching leaders. You got Sandy Koufax, Juan Marichal, Warren Spahn, all of them on there, along with Jim Maloney of the Reds. But you got three Hall of Famers, all depicted on one card. So if you get a chance, a lot of people don't look at the league leader cards, but like I said, it's a good opportunity to get some all-time greats on there. Here's another one. It's a 65 Topps. It shows the 64 batting leaders for the National League. You have Bob Clemente, Roberto, and Hank Aaron depicted along with Rico Cardi. All right, then you get another 65 Topps National League home run leaders. You got Willie Mays, Billy Williams, Orlando Cepeda, and you also have Callison from the Phillies and Jim Hart from the Giants. But you got three Hall of Famers on this one. Billy and Willie at the top, and Orlando down the bottom in the middle. So, another league leader card. Two great Dodger pitchers. This is the 1965 Topps National League 1964 ERA leaders. You got Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale. What team wouldn't love to have those guys? Um, Koufax had an ERA of 1.74 and Drysdale was 2.19. So, all right, you got a 1965 card of Lou Brock. Boy, I wish the Cubs probably wish they had never traded him. Went on to a great career with the Cardinals. Hall of Famer. At one time, the all-time stolen base leader until Ricky Henderson broke that. Great, great player. Could do it all. He could hit home runs if you wanted him to. Hit for average, whatever. All right, another 1965. This is the rookie card of Steve Carlton. He's pictured on it with Fritz Ackley. With the Chicago White Sox. I'm sorry, with the Cardinals. What's his name? Ackley might be with the later on with the Cardinals, I believe. That's Steve Carlton's rookie card. Great left-handed pitcher. Started off with the Cardinals and then later on with the Phillies mainly. Pitched with a couple other teams, but great Hall of Fame pitcher. All right, we have a 1967 Roberto Clemente, again depicted as Bob Clemente, in the Pittsburgh Pirates. My goal was to try to put together a whole Clemente collection. I have, I don't know, maybe 60% of the cards he's depicted on. I'm not counting the new stuff that they put out now. His original cards, 73 and before. I don't have his rookie card. I do have his second year card. It's graded as a 3.5 or a 4. So I am looking for the rookie card and trying to put that Clemente collection. A little bit of time and piecing it together. So, all right, another card up from 1966. You got Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks. Let's play 2. I like Ernie Banks a lot also. I've always had a few of his cards, but I've started adding more of his to my collection. Really like him as a player. All right, first baseman from the Giants. You got Orlando Cepeda, 1964 tops. All right, then you got a 1973 Willie McCovey from the Giants. I just like the way this card looks. You get he obviously just fouled the ball off. You got Johnny Bench catching, and both Bench and McCovey are looking in the direction where the ball went. Again, that's a 1973 tops. The old candlestick park, you can tell by the chain link fence in the background. All right, the next up you have a 1966 Ferguson Jenkins rookie card. He's with the Phillies here. Great Cubs pitcher. There's Fergie on the right-hand side right there. My right. So I actually got to see him pitch for the Red Sox, of course, at the very end of his career. Saw a lot of his games on the Game of the Week with the Cubs. But yeah, here's one of my favorite players, probably my favorite all-time player in Lou Gehrig. This is a 1973 all-time Grand Slam leader. At the time, A-Rod has since broken that, but Lou Gehrig had 23 Grand Slams. I just really love. I know obviously I'm not old enough to see Lou Gehrig play, but really like what he stood for. A family guy. He was all about family and kids, and loved the game of baseball, as they all did. The players in those days. I'm not saying the players today don't love the game also, but there's other motives in today's game. But at the time, Lou Gehrig had 23 Grand Slams. Second was Jimmy Fox, and Ted Williams was 17. So that's a 73 tops of him. All right, next up I have a 1967 Willie Mays of the Giants. Say hey kid. 67 is a nice back to the green. All right. Here's a Hall of Famer from Chicago Cubs, third baseman Ron Santo. This is a 1964 tops. I don't even have to introduce this guy. From the New York Yankees catcher, it's the 1964 tops card of Yogi Berra. Says manager on there. I believe he also caught a few games still. I could be wrong. I'd have to look it up. One of my reference books I have here, but for some reason it sticks out in my mind that he may have been player manager for a little while there. But that's the 1964 tops of Yogi Berra. Right, you have a 65 tops card of another famous New York Yankees manager, but in this card he's with the Mets. It's Casey Stengel. Looks like he's telling some stories there. He's talking to some people. Top step of the dugout. Great character. Also, 1965, Frank Robinson. Great player. These guys are all great players. Probably should stop saying great player because every one of them is a great player. I remember I got to see Frank play in the American League. He was a little further along in his career when I obviously really started getting into watching baseball around 1970. But he was still putting up great numbers. So, all right, next up we have a 1966 Sandy Koufax from the Dodgers, Hall of Fame pitcher. Some of you are out there probably saying, why doesn't he get all these cards graded? I've told you guys before, and I don't want to be repetitive, but I do have, 100, 125 graded cards. So you can see I don't have a huge amount of graded cards. I like the raw cards. I grew up collecting them that way. I pick the ones I like. I try to get a condition that I personally am happy with. I don't have to have a 10 or a 9 or an 8. Obviously, this card probably would only be a 4 if it was graded, but although it is clean and stuff, it's off-centered, but I collect them because it's the way I grew up collecting. I take them, put them in a penny sleeve, they go in a top loader. I have some in card savers, but most of them are in the top loaders. And then I have the cases. I have 3 or 4 cases full of the cards that mean the most to me out of my whole collection. So that's where most of these cards are coming from. For all these cards I'm showing you came out of one of the cases. All right, next up is a 1965 card of, it says outfielder. This is before he played first base with the Pirates. Willie Stargell, Pops. Common look back then. If you look at the cutoffs, well, they wear a t-shirt or a jersey underneath it, but a lot of teams had those. Willie was definitely the leader on the field, an emotional leader in the dugout of the '79 Pirates with the We Are family. That's my National League team, the Pirates. It always has been since I was a kid, and it mainly goes back to the days of Stargell and Clemente and all them guys. Probably this is the next guy is the greatest third baseman I've ever seen play. He just passed away recently within the last few months from the Baltimore Orioles. It's a 1970 Topps card of Brooks Robinson. Like I said, the greatest fielding third baseman I've ever seen play the game. I know there's some of the younger generation talks about like Arenado and those guys from today. I don't know. I think Brooks is the best I ever saw. So there's people that are older than me, maybe they go back to the 40s and 50s and stuff. May have a player or two they may mention, but for me, I take Brooks Robinson every day at third. All right, here's 1970. Now he appears as a first baseman outfielder. Remember, the other card was a 65, Willie Stargell from the Pirates. Looks like he's hanging out by the batting cage there, getting ready to get in and have a few cuts. This is the year I started, 1970. Started collecting cards. My grandmother bought me a couple packs, and that's all it took. Little did she know that here we are, 53 years later, and I'm still at it. So, all right, 1970 as well. Bob Gibson from the Cardinals, great Hall of Fame pitcher. All right. And another 1970 from the Chicago Cubs. You get Ernie Banks. I like that card, the way he's swinging. It's 2 back-to-back. I'm going to show you in a minute. Billy Williams. Same thing. All right. Here he is, 1970 Topps, Billy Williams. Another great Cubs Hall of Fame player. And you got a 1970 Reggie Jackson. nice looking card. I think that might be Yankee Stadium, but I'm not 100% sure. Only because of the way the stands are on the outfield. Here's a 1969 Al Kaline. Another one of my favorite players. My grandparents used to own a summer home in Lakeland, Florida. My grandfather would go to the Tigers games. Way back when I was small. I never went to any of the games, but he would talk about Al Kaline, how nice he was. He had the opportunity to talk to him a couple of times down there in Lakeland, and really good to the fans, the kids and stuff. Spent the time to sign autographs and talk to everybody. So Al Kaline from the Detroit Tigers. Here's a 72 Topps Roberto Clemente. Again, he's tossing the ball up there. 73 is his last year. I have like 3-4 copies of it. One of them is graded. I should have pulled out to show you, but in a future video I'll show it. But that's a 72 Topps of Roberto Clemente. Here's a 72 Topps of the Say Hey Kid from the Giants, Willie Mays. And the last one, a 72 Topps card of catcher for my team, the Boston Red Sox, Carlton Fisk. It also depicts Cecil Cooper is shown on that card as well, his rookie card. Cecil went on to have a great career also with mainly with Milwaukee Brewers. But Carlton Fisk is right here. Right there. And Cooper's in the middle. So that's always hitting that pen. That's just a few cards for you to show you. Video number 2 in one day. I promise you there won't be a third one. I'll save that for next Monday. Again, have a great week, and hope to see you and some comments from you guys or suggestions, whatever. All right, keep on collecting and have a great day.